Okay, so this is my first time making a video. This is my first time disclosing this via video. I've definitely expressed it on social media, but today I'm feeling a certain kind of way, so I'm going to go ahead and make a video and put this out there. The reason why I'm coming forward today is because of um, let's see, what was just some things that were said to me that I think were inappropriate, uncalled for, whatever. Now, it may have been a poor choice of words, but this is why I'm making this video. So, kudos to you. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, so here it is. And I'm just gonna put it in. Well, let me go ahead and say, I was told, um, basically, I just don't even know how to say this. When has there come a time where, when a victim comes forward, when somebody comes forward and tells their story, when they share their story and tell their truth, they're obsessed with that person. So, when has that ever been? So, what are we now? Um, re-victimizing the victim? Is that what we're doing? You know, and then people wonder why a lot of victims do not come forward. They don't file police reports. They don't come forward, tell their friends, tell even their family. You want to know why? Because people say stupid shit like that. They, even when you have the receipts, even when you have the proof, they question, they doubt, they just do whatever, make you feel even shittier than you already feel. Okay? So I was told, by me sharing my story, not only sharing my story, talking about my story, resharing my story, blah, 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 by me telling what happened to me, I'm obsessed. Yeah, I'm obsessed with telling my story. I'm obsessed with the truth getting out. I'm obsessed with clearing my name. So, here we go. Okay. So, the reason, like I said, that's kind of the background of this story. But let me go ahead and tell you. On June the 5th of 2018, basically, no, let me just back up just a little bit. May of 2018. Memorial Day to be exact. I found out that the guy that I was dealing with, he was back cheating with somebody that he had engaged with months prior. And when I say engaged, I mean had sex with. Okay? We grown. So I found out, this was 2017. I found out in 2017. It was September of 2017 is when I found out. He of course professed his love for me, whatever. Ended up, after, just a week or whatever, him keep, saying whatever, ended up getting back with him, or, ended up talking back with him days later. It wasn't even a week. It was literally days later. We went out to eat at a restaurant in Austin, Texas, off of Research Boulevard. It's just one thing led to another, and things were said. He, of course, stated that He didn't think that I still loved him, and I was always at work, and just every excuse, you've ever been cheated on. And I personally do not know any woman that has not. But you've been cheated on, you know the stories and the lies that they tell you, okay? They keep them coming. And, one thing led to another, just whatever. So, like I said, we stayed together. I actually apologized to him. How stupid is that? Okay? I apologized to him saying, I'm sorry I pulled myself away, that I was working on these hours. I apologized to him. And not only did I apologize to him, this is where it gets really crazy. That same day, he took me to a tattoo place and got his name tattooed on me. Okay? The reason why is because, he had talked about it years before. He know that I had made that stupid mistake before and got an ex, my daughter's dad's name on me. Of course, we got into it, covered it up with flowers. You know how we do it. So I said I was sharing that with him and saying that I would never, ever do that again. I was just stupid. I was just young. I was in my 20s, just da-da-da-da-da. Oh, you would never do that for me? Hell no, I wouldn't, is what I told him. So over the years, he always would say that. And I was like, I'm not getting your name. I'm not getting your name. Just whatever. Fast forward many years later, like I said, was put in this situation. And one thing led to another. It was brought up, and it was done. His initials, not his name like I did the last time. Nonetheless, covered. Just nonetheless, dumb mistake, just whatever. Anyway, okay, so that situation happened in 2017. And then we ended up, like I said, remaining together. Just whatever. Everything seemed how it was before I found out about her, And I let me back up a little bit. I found out about her. It was a picture. Let me back all the way up. I found out about her, a picture on Facebook. He kept saying, of course, with my long hours at work, and I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you up to? Usually you're like blowing me up, even if I am at work and we can't hang out because I'm working. Some days I worked on Saturday, some days I worked on Sunday, and I'm just like, normally you texting, you just sending me stuff, just whatever, right? And so, as women, we know when something is just whatever. So that's what made me, start asking him, like, what you been up to? He said, I ain't been up to nothing. You can check. I ain't been doing up to nothing. And of course, he said check. I started checking. So I started looking on Facebook, looking through his friends' accounts, da-da-da-da. You know what they say, right? Search, you should find, or look for something, you're going to find it. Well, guess what? I found a picture of him that he had took. Don't recall the date, but it was probably within that week. And at an event that I was asked to go to, I declined, and he took someone else. And that's how I found out about her. And like I said, and then the thing with the dinner, thing with whatever, the tattoo, we stayed together. He made me feel like it was my fault. You're not around anymore. I didn't know if you still loved me. Just whatever. Literally, I was working, coming home. We still talked every day. We were still together. It was just that my hours had increased at work, and I just could not be there. So, be there like I was before. Okay. So that was 2017. And that was when I found out in, September of 2017. October of 2017, approximately like 2 to 4 weeks later, of me finding out about her. And of course, let's see, of course, like 2 to 4 weeks, me finding out about her. Um, One day, and nothing was nothing. Let me see how I can say this. Um, our pattern did not change. We still talked every day. We still did whatever. It was just now I know he went to an event, and I'm not stupid. I know he slept with her. You can, as women, we can tell the way you take a photo. You can tell if someone's been intimate with that person. So I could tell that. Nonetheless, he was saying, "Oh, she just popped in on the picture. I didn't know her." Then he eventually said, "Oh, well, you didn't want to go." I mean, it was just one thing after another. But like I said, 2 weeks later, 2 to 4 weeks later, um, as the weeks went on, the days went on, nothing changed with us. Why we still talked all the time. We were still intimate. On the weekends when I was not working, I was still at his house the whole damn weekend. So there was no way she didn't know he didn't have a girlfriend. I even had stuff at his house. Okay, we know as women, and you've been dealing with someone for years, had even lived with him from time to time. We lived stuff at the house. I had stuff in the bathroom, stuff in the drawers, stuff up under the bathroom sink. I had stuff in the shower. I had clothes hanging up in his closet. I had nail polish. I had everything. I had everything. Okay, this is my man for years. Okay, so nonetheless, she popped up at Yall's restaurant in Round Rock, Texas. Okay, and we went in. We was having a nice dinner. I had got off of work, went home, quickly showered. Got real cute in a cute little dress, the stiletto heels. Had my little clutch. We went out to listen to jazz, listen to music, have dinner. Not jazz. I'm sorry. We listened to some singer or whatever. And then we had dinner. Looking back, I now remember how he got up from the table and he went and talked to, he said, the bartender. I don't know at that time if he was actually on the phone because I wasn't paying attention to him like that. Yeah, I, found out weeks before about her, but I really thought that this is just a fluke thing. Yeah, they had sex. I don't know if it was a one occurrence. If it was, I didn't know how long it went on. He did not explain this, right? And I didn't ask. So, nonetheless, we was having dinner that day. As we got ready to leave, we stepped outside the restaurant. He held open the door, and I came out and I was like trying to put my phone in my clutch. And the clutches are small or whatever. So I'm just like struggling to close it, right? So I'm looking down and all I hear is, "So who is that?" And he said, "That's my girl, or this is my girlfriend." And all you hear is, and I'm like, "Hold up." So I grabbed him and I pulled him back, broke a couple of nails, pulled him back. And I said, "What is going on?" She stated, "Oh, this is my man and he's cheating on me." And I said, "No, this is not your man. You just heard him say who I am. What is going on?" And I told her straight out, point blank, period. "We can talk about this." I said, "But you will not be putting your hands on him. Just whatever." So I stood in front of him. And at that time, she reached around and she hit him again. So I had on 6-inch stilettos. So I took off my shoes. I started unlacing my shoes because I was not about to break my ankle, get into an altercation with this girl. And I had a friend that's fractured ankle, broken ankle, where she can't even wear heels anymore. And anybody that knows me know that is my go-to shoe, right? So, anyway, I threw down my purse, and I was took off my shoes. I was unlacing my shoes, took off my shoes, and she was like, "I wish you would hit me. I'm pregnant." And he was like, "She's not pregnant. She's not pregnant. She's lying. I promise. I promise. She's not pregnant. I promise. I promise." And He's 6'4". I'm 5'5". So he's like leaning down, talking to me, right? And I couldn't say nothing to him because I was focused on her, and I just looked at him and glared at him like, "I'll deal with you at home, right?" Okay, so then she's saying, "Oh, he's giving me money and just whatever," and he's telling me, "Oh, I've never given a woman more money than I've given you, and it's just whatever." Okay, so I had already known. Of course, after I found out about her, and within that 2 to 4 weeks, he would tell me it's in bits of what happened, because I wanted to know where you take her. He told me, Cheddars and Yalls. Okay, I'm like, I asked him little questions like that, right? Did you give her any money? Because I know even before our relationship started, even before he knew my name, within 5 minutes of meeting me, he was giving me money. He gave me money and put a tire on my car within 5 minutes of meeting me. Okay, and then even when I stopped talking to him and got with my ex, before our relationship even jumped off, there was times where I would make appearances with him at events. And there was also a time when, let's see, there was a time when his daughter, his daughter came over to introduce her fiance. Was that? Let's see. I think, yeah, that was time when his daughter came over to introduce her fiance. I think. Anyway, there was a time I would have to think about it. Anyway, there was a time I was there with the fiance thing, but I can't remember. There was another time before we was actually in a relationship when he paid me to come there to act like I was his girlfriend, and whatever else. We did not have sex. We was not intimate. I didn't kiss him. I was in a whole nother relationship with my ex for 2 years. Um, um, After we stopped talking, I got back with my ex for 2 years, almost 2 years. Anyway, like I said, there was probably like 3, 4 different situations that's popping up in my head where I made appearances with him, but we were not together. We were not intimate in no way. Um, Nonetheless, let's see. And okay, so I feel like I'm just all over the place. But back to that situation, like I said, he was like, um, didn't give me, didn't, he was like, "You're the one I gave, the most money to. No one has ever gotten um out of me as much as you have," right? And I'm just looking at him and glaring, and I'm pissed. I'm highly pissed, right? So I'm just glaring, and I'm just like, I'm gonna deal with you when we get home. But she's like, "Oh, he gave me $230, and I'm looking and like, okay, he had already told me that was one of the it's and bits that he shared with me of what happened with her. He told me he gave her $230 to pay her car note. And like I told her, I already know. I said I knew about that, and I said, like, bitch, that's punk change. You see what I'm saying? I spend that money at Sephora. You see what I'm saying? I spend that money doing whatever. That's like nothing. That's no real money. It may be real money to you, but that's not real money. So she was just going back and forth. At that time, she was up there talking about, I think I already said the part where she was up there talking about, "Oh, if you hit me, I'm gonna call the police because I'm pregnant, and I already shared about that. But anyway, people started coming out. A couple of guys came out because of all the commotion, and then, mind you, we're right outside the door of the restaurant, and and then when they came out, you know me, he's brought me up here, you know, and I'm like, okay, he fucked you and fed you. Bye. Be gone. I said, you're making an ass out of yourself. Look at you. You're making an ass out of yourself. And she's like, my kids love you. And da 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 da. And he's not saying nothing. He's just saying stuff to me. He's not addressing her at all. And I'm like, first of all, not only your kids should not know you, he should not know you intimately. And I'm like, you asked him how long it took him to sleep with me. You asked him how long it took for him to kiss me. You asked him how long it took for him to meet my kids, right? So she's steadily saying, oh this and blah, blah, blah. You know, my kids this and just whatever. It's just making a whole complete scene and a fool of herself, right? So then she starts talking about she had dresses over at his house. Mind you, I did find a couple of dresses at his house. I cut them up. He saw me cut them up. He saw me put them in the trash. He said, first of all, he said it was his cousin dress. So anyway, like I said, I went and got the scissors. I cut up the dress, threw it in the trash, and first I was ripped it. Then I'm like, nah, this dude is just way too slick. Okay, I cut it zigzag, so you know he can't pull it out there in the trash and be like, he can pull it out the trash and say, oh, it ripped in the washing machine. Mind you, her 2 dresses was hanging up in the laundry room. Ladies, this is how slick they are. Her stuff was hanging up in the laundry room. My stuff was in his closet. Yes. Her little cheap little Ross or Family Dollar apparel was hanging up in the laundry room. And like I said, I saw it. I cut it up. I asked him who it was. He said his cousin. And I'm like, you got me fucked up. So I cut it up. He saw me do it. You know, he didn't say nothing more about it. He was like, I don't care. But anyway, she bought it up that night. And she was like, I got clothes there. I want my clothes back. And I'm like, bitch, I cut that shit up. I threw it in the trash. I did you a favor, right? And then she's like, and I'm telling her this. And she's like, you got me fucked up. I'll shoot both of y'all. She said, I'll shoot both of y'all in y'all head. And I'm like, I said, you cheated on me with this hood trash? This hood rat? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking, Michelle, please just get in the car. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this at home. Please don't do this in front of my friend's shop. Okay, so she runs around to get it, or excuse me, she was like standing outside of her car door at that time. He walked me around to the other car, was kind of like, you know, with his hand in the small on my back, like kind of pushing me along, like, please just go home. We'll talk about this later. So he opened the car. As we was on the passenger side of his car, because she pulled up right next to his car, she drove around to that side and tried to hit us both with the car. Swear to God on my kid's life. All the while, those 2 guys at the restaurant was still there. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like pulling him back and it was a whole big thing. Ended up getting into, you know, driving off. I'm like, you need to call the police. I'm going to call the police later. I just want to make sure you're safe. Okay. So, you know, he didn't call the police at the house that night. That night he ended up following me over to my apartment. He spent the night. Weeks later, this was in October of 2017. Weeks later, ended up talking to the girl for the first time. And she was like, oh, he came over to my house that night. I was like, bitch, you lying. First of all, when we left that whole altercation, went over to his house, I got in his shit. He was like, I don't know what to say and blah, blah, blah. He got in his shit. Then probably like an hour or so later, we ended up leaving. Because he, instantly was trying to get me, us to leave. And I'm like, because she was up there talking about, like I said, shooting us in the head. She was trying to hit us with the car. And she was just a whole ghetto mess. I'm about to go fuck somebody. And she was just saying the most, okay? So, I'm thinking he's trying to rush me off because either one, he think she's going to pop up, or two, like, I just didn't know. Like, my thoughts was just all over. I was just like in his shit, right? But anyway, like I said, he just kept saying, I don't know what to say, just whatever. I eventually agreed to leave with him. He said that he was going over to my house that night. And it spent the night, but then she was up there talking about, a few weeks later, oh, he came over to my house. I was like, bitch, you lying. For one, he stayed over to my house that night. Like, just lying. And then she just gonna stop. I stopped her dead in her tracks. Like, bitch, you're fucking lying. Not only did I got proof the next morning when he came to my job to get his watch and his ring and all that shit, he left. Are you kidding me? Why are you lying? Just ghetto, just trash, right? That was, like I said, October 2017. Fast forward, we had just fast forward. Things got back into the groove of things or whatever. It took me a while to trust him. I had him doing all kind of shit. Sending me pictures if I called, wherever I called. If I'm working late and I'm not with you, I'm having him send me pictures. I don't care where he claimed he was at, whether he was in his car, whether he was at Chatters, whether he was at home. I did not trust his ass. I'm like, send me a picture. I don't believe you. Send me the details of that picture. I don't believe you. This could be an old fucking picture. Or I would say something like, what did you wear to work today? And he would say, oh, I got on a white shirt and some jeans, or just whatever. Okay, now send me a picture, right? Because after a while, I'm thinking, he can start taking these pictures and just, like, storming his phone, okay? So I'm like, okay, I need to see a picture with a white shirt, just whatever. And he was like, after a while, he got tired. And he was just like, I'm getting tired of this shit and just whatever. But he still was in the picture. After months of doing that, probably like December or January, I was like, okay, you just doing the most. You said that you're going to stay with him. You whatever. You forgave him. You need to just try to let this go. Even though it was still in my head, I was not bringing it up to him, right? This was, like I said, January of 2018. Things was back to normal. We was doing our same normal routine. I worked, he worked, 3 to 5 minutes from my job. We did lunch together whenever. He would always come to my job. I never went to his job. I never wanted to lose my parking spot if I got a good parking spot. So I'm like, no, you come to me. So he always did. And his job was more flexible than mine as far as scheduling. I had to clock in and out within an hour. Even though he clocked in and out, he could go an hour and 10 minutes, an hour and 5 minutes, or just what it was. His schedule was more flexible. So he always came to me, right? On the weekends, everything was the same. During the week, it was the same. If I had time or if I felt like going out, or going to dinner, we did the same thing, I'm going to fast forward this till May of 2018. Well, no, let me go back. January of 2018, I told him, because of course I'm telling myself, okay, you need to let this go, right? But I realized, like, I can't trust you because we're not in the same household. I had moved out, snuck and got me an apartment, in 2016. That's when I snuck out and got an apartment. I didn't tell him until I signed the lease. I'm not stupid. He's not. He's gonna, probably get mad in his feelings. Make me and my child, my daughter, leave. And I'm like, I'm not gonna tell him until I can secure a spot, right? But the reason why I did that is because he was doing dumb shit. Like we get into an argument, he would change the passcode on the door. I had to knock on the door, knock on the window. He didn't always hear me at the door. I mean, it was just a whole big thing. All the while, me and my kids is there. Our stuff is there. I was just too grown, too independent to put up with that. He did it twice, and that was just enough for me. I recall one time when he took my son, me and him took my son to college, 5 hours away. My daughter was left in the car with him, and she, of course, as young kids do, was running her mouth. Me and mama was looking at houses. Me and mama was doing this and just whatever. So that was in 2016. And of course, I got in the car, and he was like, y'all looking at houses? And I was like, no, we was just looking, but that don't mean nothing. And I just got out the car because I was like put on the spot. But anyway, like I said, that was 2016. Let's see. Let me go back because I'm just like all over. January of 2018, I realized that I said I trust you and I said I wanted this relationship. However, or excuse me, I didn't say I trust him. I said that I wanted this relationship. However, I did not trust him. And even though I wasn't going to still ask you for proof, and I wasn't going to still run behind you checking stuff, and I didn't trust him. So I told him that we needed to be under the same roof, in order for this relationship to stay intact, right? So at that point, we started looking at houses. He started taking us every single weekend to look at houses in Round Rock and Pflugerville, Texas. I was okay with living in Austin. He was adamant he didn't want to live in Austin, even though we both worked in Austin. He wanted to stay primarily in Round Rock, but I kept pushing the issue about Pflugerville. But let's see. So we was doing that every single weekend. Just it was crazy. And then I remember we got into it in February. I was mad at him, and we didn't talk for some days or whatever. Like a week or so. And then, of course, we started back talking like we always did. And fast forward to from February to April. At that time, because I had signed a short-term lease, because we had agreed on, we had already talked about getting a place together. Or excuse me, we had already talked about me moving into his place. So I had signed even before she came about, right? So I had signed a short-term lease. I signed a 9-month lease so that we can move during my daughter's summer break. And of course, with me finding out that he was cheating, that, just kind of sealed the deal. It's like, okay, either we're under the same roof, or this relationship is not going to last. It's not going to go. I'm just not going to be in it. I didn't care that he had threw away the comforter. He, threw away the sheets, threw away the towels, which at the time he thought was like, okay, you're just doing the most. And like I told him, I don't know if this chick took baths. I'm not stupid. Of course, I'm sure she probably spent the night. I'm not going to wash my face or my ass with another towel that a bitch washed her ass with. This is what I told him. So he got rid of all that stuff to hold on to me and our relationship. And so he agreed. Like I said, we was going house hunting. Then we got into it in February, and I was just like, I can't do this. I just couldn't. So I started looking for houses of my own we started back talking, but it was just still like, I just had a funny feeling. Or I just was unsure, right? So in April, I'm like, I need to look for a house myself. And I'm like, because I just really don't know. I was telling my dad, because him and my dad talked all the time. And I was just like, I just don't know if I can trust him. I just don't know, don't know, don't know. So I started looking at houses again. This time I wasn't looking at to rent, I was looking to buy. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. So I just started looking. I ended up giving my earnest money to a house. Ended up not wanting the house, asking for it back. He, was right there, and and he, was just kind of like being supportive, just like, oh, I can't believe you did that, but you're gonna get your money back, and just whatever. Um, I ended up, in the meantime, I found my house. I couldn't use like my credit cards or anything because, of course, they don't want you to use money out of your accounts. He paid my inspection fee on the house. This was in April. No, this was in May. This is May. At this time. Later on in May, Memorial Day to be exact, I had told him the night before that I was going over to a friend's house. Just whatever else. He was like, okay, that's cool. So, the next morning, he claimed he called. I didn't see that he called. But, the next morning, like, we talked here and there, and I just got an uneasy feeling. Got that feeling in my gut again. And so I remember when we talked, I remember I would hang up and I'll wait like 5 to 10 minutes or maybe 20 minutes. I don't remember. It wasn't like timed. And I would call him back to say like, oh, I forgot to say this. Really what I was doing was listening in the background, trying to validate the feeling that I was feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I'm like, I did this like 2 or 3 times. And he would always answer. He would always call me back. He's like, what? Like, I'm, sitting here with family. Like, I'm cooking. Like, what? And so I'm like, okay, you tripping. This is what I'm telling myself. He's not doing nothing. You're just tripping. You're overthinking. You're just whatever. So I just let it go, right? He was like, oh, my daughter's here from out of town. He was just saying whatever, right? So I was just like, it's just whatever. I just let it go. That night or the next day, I think it was the next day, I ended up looking on Facebook again. He told me months prior in 2017, you can look, I ain't been doing nothing. Okay, so now I'm starting to check. After the 2017 incident, anytime I had an uneasy feeling, I would check, right? Before then, I didn't. I didn't ever follow up on him, never went through his phone, I never went through his drawers, I never checked his trash, I never did none of that stuff. I was secure in our relationship. I was definitely secure with myself. I thought I had a good dude. Thoughts. Memorial Day. The next morning, looked on Facebook, I saw on his sister's account a picture of him with that same girl from 2017. And, of course, you're acting on raw emotion. You see something like that and you're like, are you fucking kidding me? I instantly start, type something on her picture. Just like, I don't even remember honestly what I said. I said something to the effect like, I said whatever, and then I just started sharing our information on her page. She, of course, deleted the picture. She's like, oh shit. She deleted the picture. Then her and I ended up talking and she was like, oh, I didn't know that y'all was still together, and and the way they was acting, and I didn't know. I'm sorry. And I was like, I said, if you wasn't being messy, I wouldn't have found out. And she was like, oh, I don't have nothing to do with my brother, oh, the way he act, and I didn't know y'all. I just didn't know. Just whatever. So her and I was talking. She ended up telling me in regards to all types of girls. She was just spilling the beans, right? She was just really spilling the beans. Um, she told me about a niece, a niece, and she told me about another girl. She couldn't remember the name. She told me about all kind of girls. She was like, she'd seen him with all types of girls. Her and I talked for a good 2.5 weeks. She was sharing all kind of things with me in regards to everything. In regards to his kids, in regards to his dealing with other females in the past, her friends he's messed with, how he did them, how he's always cheated on everyone. She had diarrhea of the mouth. She was just sharing, she was oversharing, especially for, this is your brother, right? She was sharing everything. And of course, at this time, I'm just doing the most on my Facebook page, right? I'm just sharing all kind of things. And then I started noticing, before I started noticing that, let me also say that, like I said, I was posting stuff on my Facebook page. Other people start inboxing me. Other people start calling me. Other people start texting me. Went out to lunch, dinner with a few of his friends. They were sharing information. I've been wanting to tell you this, is what they said. I've been wanting to share this. I didn't know how you was going to receive it. Just whatever, right? They started telling me about different girls. It was a lot, to the point where I recall, talking with some of the girls, trying to see, okay, these fucking women are adding up. People was telling me, oh, I seen him at a comedy show. He was here, he was there. I only seen that girl one time. I don't even recall her name. It was a situation like that. And during that time, I started having discharge. And it was not just like a light discharge, like your pH is off. It was like a thick, chunky, not yeast infection, because it was yellow green. I'm on the phone with his sister one time. I was using the bathroom, and I wiped myself. This is just a couple of days. Within, from us having sex the last time, wiped myself, and it was like, what the fuck? Is what I told her. And she was like, what? And I said, do you have a weak stomach? And she said, no. I sent her the pictures of my discharge. Yes, I did. Sent her pictures of my discharge. And I just started crying. And she was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Just whatever. And that same day, I started calling, because she was like, you need to make a doctor's appointment. And I'm like, I cannot wait for a doctor's appointment. I called urgent care. Didn't know if they did STD testing, but I just knew I wasn't waiting for no doggone PCP. Went to the urgent care. I was still on the phone with his sister. In the midst of me being in urgent care, I recall this girl's sister inboxing me, telling me I'm making a fool of myself on Facebook and all this and that. I'm in urgent care. Got tested and treated for not one but 2 STDs. Gonorrhea and chlamydia. They did a urine thing. They did a pap smear. It was everywhere, all over the I forgot what you call that thing. All over that. It was all over that. And she was like, this isn't no yeast infection because of the color. It wasn't runny. It wasn't chunky like a yeast infection. And of course, as a woman, you know a yeast infection is white. It was yellowish green. It was disgusting. I was bawling my eyes out like somebody died. Several of the staff came in. Just it was a bad time. In the midst of me getting this news, hearing confirmation of this is an STD, her sister was inboxing me and telling me, just what I'm in urgent care, getting tested and just bawling my eyes out, and she's trying to be funny. And I remember telling her, because she was pregnant at the time, I remember telling her, like, bitch, I hope you die in delivery. I was that, like, gone, right? I was just like, bitch, leave me alone. I hope you die in delivery. She was like, wow, don't inbox, don't respond to me anymore. Like, bitch, you're in my inbox. I'm showing urgent care these messages. They told me to shut down my page, don't respond. They was trying to calm me down because I was literally like livid. I was hyperventilating. It was crazy. Fast forward, like I said, before they gave me a shot and 2 pills, and gave me a script to take other pills. They said, well, it's going to take a while for your results to come back. The most common STDs that, is, gonorrhea, chlamydia, or, trick or whatever. And just what they was just going over the common STDs. And they was like, this don't look like this. This don't look like this because of this. This looks like this. Do you want to get treated now, or, they was like, do you want to get treated now or do you want to wait? And I'm like, I need to get treated now. Like, I was, just, so they did the shot, they gave me pills and gave me the scripts. Within 2 to 3 days of taking, I don't know if it was a shot or the pill, I don't know which one worked, it started decreasing and going away. They called me to follow up to see how I was doing, if my discharge was stopping, or if it went away. I told them that it was going away, just whatever. They was like, well, your other results have not come back. Your results have not come back. We'll call you when they do, right? So days later, they ended up calling me. I remember I had just got off of work. They called. They called when I was at work. I missed the call. Then they called, either they called again or I called. I can't remember. I can't remember. I know I was in traffic and I was on the phone. They called. I was on the phone with his sister. Clicked over and it was them, the doctor. And she said, verify my name. Told me, you tested positive for herpes and 1 and 2. I started screaming, that can't be right. That's wrong. You're wrong. I don't believe this. I've never even had a cold sore in my life. What are you talking about? I came there for discharge. I don't have herpes. And she said, ma'am, you do have herpes. I started bawling, almost wrecked in my car. I couldn't see. Mind you, I'm on my way home from work. I couldn't see. It was bad. I made it home and I kept crying on the phone and screaming with his sister. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say. Hopefully they're wrong. Just whatever. So like I said, and she said all that. I stayed on the phone with her for hours and for, probably like an hour or 2, just crying. How could he do this to me? I trusted him. We haven't had sex. we haven't used protection since 2014. And this was 2018. And I'm just like, I remember asking them how long have I had it? And she said they couldn't tell that. It was just bad. It was very, very bad. And I want to say the next day they said I can come get the results. I remember then again, been on the phone with his sister. I remember sending pictures to his sister. And I mean, it was a very, very bad and dark time for me. Mind you, like I said, I had put money down on a house in May. Um, Again, he paid the earnest money, and I'm just like, I literally wanted to die. I could not envision my life one more day. And I'm trying not to get emotional because this is, it's a couple of days, or excuse me, a couple of years ago. It's going on 3. So I'm able to talk about it now, but just reliving how I was feeling at the moment, it was very, very dark. Very, very dark. I literally would make myself go to work, come home, and get in the bed. There was times where my daughter would come in my room and I was just sitting like on the floor, and she's like, "Why are you sitting in the dark?" I don't know. I was just sitting. I could not do anything. Usually I was in the bed with the covers over my head, and if I was up, I was, of course, always in my room, whether I was on the floor, on my couch. I was sitting in a dark room, in a dark hole. I felt like I was in a dark hole. Very, very dark. Very bad, bad time. And all the while, I got these girls playing on my social media. I would block them. They would create additional pages, fake pages, just to inbox me, just to taunt me, just to whatever. It was just so super crazy. So I'm saying all of that to say this, because this is a long video and I need to end this. This is my Facebook page. This is me. And yeah. This is me. I created a page. Showing screenshots of things. Yeah. Because I was constantly being harassed and all this and that. And I'm like, you know what? You want to put my name out there, so let me create a page and make it easier for them to find me. Okay? So that's what I did. So like I said, that's probably another day, another story. But I'm going to end this video on this note. Ladies, even guys, fellas, if you feel like someone is doing something, go with your gut. Go with your gut. Okay? Because it's just like, I found out in 2017. I don't even know how long I've had this. They said they can't tell. In regards to the chlamydia and gonorrhea, I think I skipped that part. They said, when I went back and got my test results, and I saw that it said negative on there for that. And I was just like, but what do you mean that's negative? I was like, how can that be when I took this medication and all that stuff that was going on stopped? They said, well, with different diseases, there's an incubation period. And I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, I never heard it, just like, I was just like in the dark. Oh, shit. I was just like in the dark in regards to a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to get back to that Facebook page. Um and I'm just like, what do you mean? Blah blah blah. And then they started telling me the incubation period for um you know, for different diseases or whatever. And of course, like I said, I'm just still just like, I don't know. I was just out of it. I don't know what other way to say it. I was just completely out of it. And so, sorry, I'm sitting up here trying to look for this page again. Um, so let's see, is this it? Um, so I'm just like, what they were saying was going in one ear and out the other. I remember going home and just like eventually getting around to looking it up. I literally put in herpes in Google, and that made it worse. Because of course they showing all kind of stuff, and I'm like, I'm telling my friend, oh, if my mouth look like that, I'm going to drink bleach. I was just saying all kind of stuff, okay, and I meant every word of that. I literally meant every word. I was gone. I was crying every day. I don't know how my friends had a life because they stayed on the phone with me. Also, different people on his side stayed on the phone with me every single day, nonstop. When I was at work, when I was, they were, was he texting? Just texting, calling at work, checking up on me, and I really, really appreciate it because I know if they wouldn't have been there, I would have been gone. I was in a very, very dark place. Did not know that I had depression. Don't even know. I didn't even know what depression was. It was my girlfriend. She actually said, after months, me crying and I lost weight, my hair fell out. I lost like 20 pounds. My hair fell out. I was just looking a hot mess. She was like, Michelle, you need to go see someone. You need to go to the doctor. And I was like, why? She was like, I just think you need to go to your doctor just to tell them what's going on and see what they say. That's what she said. I was like, well, no. And then she convinced me to go. Sure enough, talking to my doctor, and she retested me. I made another appointment. The second appointment, the whole appointment was just answering questions about herpes. She diagnosed me with major depressive disorder. She did like a questionnaire, survey, something, diagnosed me with that. She said, how do you feel about medication? And I said, well, I was telling her, I was like, I'll try anything to get back to me. Like, I was literally, I couldn't do anything. And I had a minor kid at home. And, thank God that she's a teenager because I was not good for nothing. Nobody. I don't even know how I was able to hold down a job. They said that my quality had went down, but I was still meeting metrics. But I wasn't. They wasn't good. Like they wasn't great like they were with before. Usually I'm like damn near perfect. Like as far as like error rates. I came from a quality background, so I was really really passionate in regards to making sure whatever I had my name attached to, it was correct. Okay, so it was just a very very dark time. It was very obvious I was going through something. Um, but yeah, like if you just leave. It's not worth it. A lot of women commit suicide regards to this. Um, it affects everyone differently. As of right now, I still have not had an outbreak that I'm aware of. I've had bumps on my hand, which you can still kind of see. I've had bumps come on my hand because they can come anywhere. It's in your nerve system. You can get it on the side of your face. You can get it on your boots. Some people only get it on the back of their leg, get it on the ass cheek, get it on their back, get it on their ankle. You can get it on your finger. You can have it in your throat. You can have it inside your ass. You can have it inside your vagina. You can have it anywhere. Some guys have it on their nutsack, their balls. Some guys have it there. They don't have it on their dick. So when women are doing their check ups, you need to look there too. Because I'm here to tell you, it's a lot of women in my support group, and I'm in a support group with tens of thousands of people. A lot of them found out the same way I found out. And, some of them have gotten tremors because it traveled to their brain or traveled to their spinal cord. Some people have lost their baby because of it. I mean, everybody has their own story. Some people have even lost their lives. They commit suicide. They just could not do it. It's a very, very heavy topic, a diagnosis to get because of the stigma. 80% of the people 80% of the people that have it don't even know they have it. I believe that he knew. He would say that, I remember him saying he felt tingling in his legs. And I used to tell him, that sounds like a pinched nerve. You stand up too long at work. You're always on your feet. You need to go have that checked. He never had it checked. I remember him telling me he would feel tingling when his allergies was about to act up or flare up. I've never had allergies. My kids don't have allergies, so how would I know that? I was just like, okay, like he said he would always have to take, a pill to get ahead of it. I never checked his pill bottle. Ladies, check pill bottles. I seen the bottles. I never checked labels. I never checked none of that. Some of the women in my support group found out that way. Saw the name of the whatever, plugged it into Google, and then they ran and got tested and checked pill bottles. People are out here lying, deceiving. I believe wholeheartedly he knew. I'm in a better place that I was in 2.5 years ago. But I'm only here because of the help of friends and the grace of God. That's the only reason why I'm still here. I got on medication. One of the side effects, like my doctor told me, is suicide ideation. And here you're thinking, she was like, oh, but if you're having this, you need to tell me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, shit. Either suicide or you stay depressed. Either a possibility of you having these thoughts or you'll stay stuck where you are. And I was literally stuck. I could not acknowledge that I had this. I definitely couldn't accept it. And I was like, my life is over. My sex life is over. No one's going to want me. I don't even want myself. I feel dirty. I feel disgusted. I felt everything. I'd always been in a relationship long term with, people throughout the years, 3 years here, 10 years here, 11 years here. I was with him for 4 years, over 4 years. And I'm just like, no one's ever going to want me. I would not want myself. And I'm like, if somebody I met and they told me they had herpes, I would be like, ooh, I'm sorry, I feel bad, but I can't take that risk because I associated, any disease, really. I'm not even just going to say herpes, but I associated, ooh, like, you must be like you must be like wild, you must be out there, you must be fast, you must be whatever, right? And that was not my story. I literally trusted and loved the wrong damn man. That's my story. And it almost cost me my life. Yeah. Right now, like I said, I haven't had a known outbreak. Everyone is telling me when you have an outbreak, you'll know. I had what did I have? I had, of course, I had the bumps on my hand, and I was freaking out about that, and they were like, well, you can go have it swabbed, but I seriously doubt it because you didn't feel tingling or numbness. That's always associated with an outbreak. And I'm like, but why do I have these bumps and they look like, just whatever. So I was freaking out about that. Eventually people calmed me down. It was like, that's not that if you didn't get this. They kept saying, you're going to know if you have an outbreak. I remember getting a hair bump. And I've never had a hair bump in this place, right? And we're grown, so I'm going to go ahead and say, on my lips, I had a hair bump. And I was like, I've gotten a hair bump, up at the top, but I've never had a hair bump down there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to post my vagina on Facebook. That nasty motherfucker. I was just going off. Every day, I'm literally, like with this. With my phone, with the camera. I was with the mirror every day. And I kept saying, I'm going to post it. My friend said, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. She said, I know it's a hair. It's a hair. And I said, no, it's not. I don't see it. It was ingrown hair. Eventually, days later, the hair kind of came through and I was able to pull it out with tweezers, right? With, some tweezers. But I had already taken the pictures to post on social media. Like, I was literally gone. I remember there was another time where I had got a bump, just like under here or whatever. It wasn't on my mouth, but again, herpes can be wherever, You can have it on your finger. It's called herpes whitlow. You can have it on your face. So I'm like, it's not on my lip, but I got it on my face. Oh my God. I'm just like, I'm freaking out, right? And everybody kept calming me down, like, that's not a cold sore, Michelle. That does not look like a cold sore. Like, every day, I'm like this. They was like, that's not a cold sore. That's not a cold sore. You're going to know if it's a cold sore. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. It's going to crust over. It's going to whatever. It's going to ooze. And it was a pimple. But it was a whitehead pimple. And it was several of them. It was probably like 3 or 4. And with herpes, they come in clusters, and I was just like freaking out. And they wasn't together, but they was like, doop. It was just like, so I don't know if it came because of my mask, because of COVID, but it was a pimple. But I was freaking out about that. I just hope that I continue to stay symptom free. And not get the type of symptoms that everyone in my support group get, because I just don't know if I can handle it. I just don't. I honestly don't. Some people say they instantly got symptoms. Some people get them once a month, once every couple of years. One person, they didn't have symptoms for 14 years. So everybody's body is different. You don't know how it's going to affect you. But right now, I'm going on 3 years of being diagnosed, getting a positive diagnosis. Um, and yeah, I just hope it stays that way. I also remember, like, I got a rash on my back. Of course, you start overthinking. Once you get something like this, you start overthinking. So I remember there was a time years before, of course, years before, I had got a rash on my back. And my hair was long. My hair was to the small of my back at one time. It broke off to my bra strap. Not bra strap like here, but bra strap like in the middle. It broke off that much. Like literally, I was gonna shave my head. I was like, oh, I was crying about that, and my girlfriend convinced me not to shave your head. But for 2 whole years, I wore a wig. I would not, for every day. I would not let nobody see my hair. I was just, it was very, very dark time. In the midst of that time, he's lying, telling everybody, she got it. She didn't get it from me. I don't have it. He told people that, I'm crazy. He was just saying all kind of stuff, which only made me share more evidence, more proof that I'm not lying. You're fucking lying. Like, who would lie about something like this? He was saying, oh, I'm just scorned, I'm bitter, or just whatever he was saying. And it's just like, who would lie about something like this, right? Like, you're not going to mute me. You're not going to silence me. This is my story, and goddamn it, I'm going to tell it. Clearly, you mess with the wrong chick, because this chick is not shutting her mouth. I'm not, like one of those other chicks, like you see, victims come forward after 5 years, 10 years. Some never come forward. I mean, look at Bill Cosby. Look at, this R. Kelly. Look at Weinstein. Look at all these people. Some people never come forward unless other people come forward. I'm not one of those people. I just kept running my mouth. Called the police, called health department. I called everybody I could literally think of calling. Because I was just like, this is crazy. Like, I cannot believe this, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't know. This is a long video. I don't even know if I can upload this because it's so damn long. But this is my story, and this is only part of my story. But I think I need to end it right now because it's just going on for so long. But you've heard one story, you've heard them all as far as herpes. And how people got, the way we got our diagnosis may be different. But my story has a twist to it, and it's got a few bumps in the road, got a few whatever, but I'm going to share that, and especially when, you hear someone say because of a victim sharing her story and I don't like the word victim. I need to find a new word because I don't like that word. I got a real problem with that word. I don't want to be associated with that word. To me, victim I don't know, I equate that with weak. And anybody that knows me know I'm far from weak. I'm far from being a pushover. Um, that and me is not one and the same. You know, that was me during, that situation. I can definitely whew, I was gone. I was definitely weak. I felt at the time I felt damaged. I felt unloved. I felt all of that. Right now, I don't even associate damaged with me. I say I'm broken. Pieces of me are still getting put back together and still being made whole. But right now, I'm broken. You know, and that's okay. Like everybody goes through stuff in life, and this is my story. This is the one thing that sets me down on my ass, literally. You know, even the death of my mom. Of course, you grieve, you're just out of it, but then you have to pick up the pieces, and you like, she was sick, just whatever, whatever. And I still cry about my mom, and that was many, many years ago. But I still cry. But I don't know, maybe it was because I was able to prepare myself somewhat because we knew she was sick. Um, but this right here was the worst thing I've ever had to deal with in my life. Ever, 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 ever. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know. I just didn't know. I didn't know. I was just out of it. Um, and it's bad. It's really bad. Right now, I am like a support person or system to other people newly diagnosed. You can always tell the new ones. They all say the same thing. They want to kill themselves. They feel dirty. They feel whatever. How can this person do this to them? Just what they want to sue. They want to do this. They want to do whatever. I mean, at this point, that's all I can do. Um, that's all I can do at this present moment, and that's what I'm committed to doing. No one should kill themselves over this. Most definitely, it's not something you want to take your life over, but they just need people in their life that care, even if you don't know them, just that's empathetic with what they're going through, and they need somebody that's there for them at that time, because literally you're not on the edge, you're hanging over the edge by your fingertips. You're literally hanging over. And some people don't make it. I made it. And I'm grateful that I got over the depression. Been off of medication for over a year and a half. So I've been doing really, really good on that, as far as that. But yeah, it took a long time to get me there. A long, long time to get me there. I did therapy. I couldn't even tell people why I was there. I was just the one that was just in group that was just crying. And then when I finally did start, talking, I feel like I didn't deserve to be there because other people were there. It was a guy there because his wife cheated on him. It was other therapists there because their job was stressful. It was a girl there from grad school, and she didn't know how to navigate, and it's just too much stress. It was a girl finding out that she was adopted. It was everybody, one person was there because her boyfriend beat her up with, I think, a bat, or he hit her with a car or something. She was like messed up. She was there on crutches and all bandaged up. It was a girl there because she found out she was pregnant. Then she also found out that her boyfriend was cheating, and then he said he was going to take the kid. It was just, everybody had their own story, and here I am with herpes. And I felt like, how dare you complain when this is the only thing that's going on in your life and you can't get through it. And these other people have all this stuff going on. Even the guy, he was there crying because he, walked in and the wife was in the bed with someone. And then she was divorcing him and she was taking everything. And he had to sell his, equipment to, everybody had their own story. But I didn't feel like my story mattered. And my therapist kept saying, Michelle, you matter. You need to be heard. Don't minimize what you're feeling, what you're thinking. You deserve to be heard. I remember her, I'll probably just cut this down to a few videos because I'm still just talking. I remember her saying at one particular time, she was like, she asked me to name 3 things that I loved about myself. I could only name 1. Mind you, she said about yourself. The only thing I said was I bought a house. I could not think of one thing about myself. And this is coming from a person that was overly confident. Just walked like her shit didn't stink. Just, she got it all together. I'm finances together, careers together. I had it going on in my mind. And people treated me like that, So it's just like to break someone down to that low of a point where they can't even name one thing about themselves that they love. That's bad. I didn't fill out, I bought a brand new house. I didn't fill out one warranty thing. I hope and pray I don't have issues with my HVAC, my furnace, my air, my central air. I didn't even fill out the warranty on that. I didn't fill out the warranty on my appliances. When I say I came home from work and I didn't do anything, I did not do anything. It took me over a year to unpack. My garage was all boxed up from my apartment. My daughter, whatever she said she wanted, I was just like, I don't care. I spent all this money to get into this house. I spent a lot of money buying, a few things. I bought my daughter a bedroom set, bought her a couch, bought a few things. It wasn't completely decorated. It still is not completely decorated. But I bought a few things, but I just could not make decisions. I was out of it. I was not, my daughter, she could have said, oh, I think I need like a car or something, Mom. I'd have been like, okay, I don't care. It's just, I don't care. I literally was like, gone. During this time, I remember getting calls and harassed, by the police, by the girls, things that he was saying to his friends. He didn't know they were coming back saying to me. It was a very, very dark time. They were saying that I was harassing them and I was stalking them. And I literally would go days not showering, not brushing my teeth. Because there came a point where I ended up taking a stress leave at work. There was days that I didn't eat. There was days I didn't shower. There was days I didn't brush my teeth. I did mention my hair fell out. There's a reason because of that. I didn't put oil on it. I didn't comb it. I looked a hot mess. It was bad. Very, very bad. Very bad. I don't know how I made it through. I just don't. That's what I said. If it wasn't for the people that were in my life and there for me during that time, and God, that is the reason why I'm still here. The only reason why. But I can talk about, I can share my story, even though it doesn't have um, it's still unfolding because of some other things that I'm gonna share. I'm gonna get to, and I'm gonna share that too. Um, because contrary to belief, I'm not obsessed with him. I'm obsessed with telling my story. I'm obsessed with being heard. I'm obsessed with telling my truth. This is my story. This is my truth. That's what I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with not internalizing what I went through, but getting it out. As my therapist said, you need to talk about it. Now, she also told me to pull up a chair and act like I'm talking to him. I haven't done that. I won't do that. I refuse to do that. Because then I just refuse to do that. She told me to write a letter, say all the things that I want to say, cuss them out, do whatever, blah, then tear it up. I didn't do that either. I refuse to allow him to hold power over. I just refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. I still have not done that 3 years later. I still haven't. So it's funny that, you hear people, you say, obsessed with him. Really? Stalking him, harassing him. And I'm like, literally, if I was going to stalk him, harass him, I would have did that fucking week that I got my diagnosis. Are you fucking stupid? Like, I literally did not call him because I knew if I called, either he was not going to answer the phone, which I damn near would have bet my bottom dollar, 99.9, or he would have said something slick, or he would have just did whatever. He wouldn't have done what I needed him to, and that was to say, I didn't know, I'm sorry, I fucked up. He wouldn't have did none of that, because that's not the man that he is. That's not the person that he is. I knew that. So I didn't even give him the pleasure of doing all of everything that I knew he would have done. I didn't even do that. But yet I was still accused of doing that. And it's just like, wow. Wow. It's crazy. And people need to go with their gut feelings. I'm telling people to go get tested. 80% of the people that have it don't know they have it. 1 in 3 women have it. 1 in 5 males have it. HSV1 and HSV2 can live wherever. It's not just HSV1 in your mouth, cold sores. No, because people do a lot of stuff with their mouths, right? Okay. So it can be wherever. Just like HSV2. You do oral sex. We grown, right? So if they got it on their penis, guess who got it in their mouth? Guess who got it in their throat? It can be wherever. You can have it in your eye. You can have it in your nose. You can have it on your lip. You can have it on your side of your face. You can have, a girl says she only get it on the top of her boob. A guy said he only get it on his ball sack. You can get it wherever. Do not just check penises. Do not just check vaginas. Not only get yourself tested and trust that the person, got tested too, but also keep getting tested. Because just because you were tested before does not mean throughout the whole relationship that person is remaining faithful, remaining loyal. So continue to get tested. I got a friend was saying she's married and she still get tested every 6 months to a year. And she's married. Never had any fidelity issues with her husband. Never. But she just know men. She's older than me. And she was like, I just know. Like I've been through this, blah, blah, blah. I just know. So she still get tested. So that is what I'm sharing and telling everybody. Get tested. Don't believe, the stuff that comes out of your mouth, whether it happened one time or whether it was a long-term thing. It don't take one time. It don't take more than once to get pregnant. It definitely don't take more than one time to get an STD. Okay? Get tested. Get tested. It's crazy. And you can have it and not have symptoms. You can have it and not have symptoms. It's called asymptomatic. You shed approximately 8 to 12 to 15, I can't remember, times a year. And you don't even know that you're shedding the disease, shedding because it's an STI, sexual transmitted infection. You're shedding the infection. You don't know. And it's skin to skin. Some wrestlers get it. People in high school get it playing football. It's skin to skin. No, you can't get it sitting on a toilet seat. No, you can't get it from a swimming pool. It is skin to skin. So if you're, playing sports with somebody, they got it on their arm. Guess who got it? It's not like HIV where it has to, it's with the exchange of body fluids. It's skin to skin contact. It does live in your saliva. It does live in your semen or your, vaginal, secretions, whatever. It does live in that. You can get a cold sore if you drink behind somebody. You can get if you eat behind somebody. You can. You can. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. This past Thanksgiving, Christmas, I remember my daughter. You eat, you cooking and you just test food. But mind you, I'm already thinking, I already know how it's spread. But she's like, she saw me testing the food. She was like, you're not going to put that back in the food, are you? And of course I wasn't. But because of this. Because any other time, hell, you cooking at home and it's just you and your kids, you and your man, you that's what you do, right? But because of this, I wasn't. But she called me out on it and she didn't even see me do it. And she was just like, you're not gonna do that, are you? So that had me feeling bad the whole day. Yeah. And and I couldn't blame her. I couldn't say anything to her. I was just like, no, of course not. I was like, why would I do that? I was like, no. But the whole day I was just all mopey because of it. But yeah. I'm going to end this though, because this has been way too long. And I said I was going to stop at 30 minutes. And it's like, well, 33. But it's like extremely long. I'm going to have to break this. But nonetheless, my story is out. Part of my story is out. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff, other stuff, in between. It's a lot of stuff even after. It's a lot. screenshots, like I said, of my story. I'm going to share proof of stuff. There's stuff, like I said, um, on my pages. There's also stuff on, um, that's going to come out in a book. There's also stuff that's it's just gonna come out. I'm just in order for me to get through this, I have to get it out. You know, therapy was great. Therapy is awesome. I would recommend everybody to do therapy, and it's wonderful. But at the same time, you have to do your homework too. You have to do your work too, and I've held on to this in some things, in other stuff in a lot of ways, and I'm just like purging, 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 purging. So that's what I'm doing. That is my story. Like I said, this is my page. Um, that's my page. So yeah, there's some things on there. There's um yeah, there's some things on there. Um, there's other stuff that's not on there that will be on here. It's a lot. It's yeah, but it's ask me any questions. I'm an open book. I found out a lot of stuff about this disease. Um, yeah, I'm just here to help anybody not be in the situation that I'm in. And if you are in the situation, I'm here to tell you that you can get through this. Um, you know, and you're gonna be okay. It's a long road. Some people it's longer than others, but you'll get there in time. And it's okay with how what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Um, but you're gonna be okay. You're going to be okay. You're gonna be okay. I'm okay. Um, Even with everything else that's going on in my life, I'm still okay. I still feel like I'm blessed. Um, Despite, the stuff that I've been through these past 2.5 years, um, I'm still blessed in a lot of ways, and I'm, keep wanting. I keep, how they say God never gives you more than you can handle, and there's a reason behind everything. I'm still trying to find that reason. Now, I don't know if that reason is because I'm meant to be, as my girlfriend said, you don't have to be the spokesperson for herpes. You don't have to be, you don't have to tell this. You don't have, and maybe that's my calling, like the police said. Well, maybe you can write to your governor, write to, maybe, I don't know. I don't know, but I just know my mouth is open and I ain't shutting up. So, uh, you know, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, but I keep telling my story over and over and over. But some of my family know, some of them don't. Some of my friends know, some of them don't. But this is me putting it out there. Some people already know. Um, a lot of people know, but now even more people is gonna know. I'm not gonna hide. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna, like. I'm just not going to run. Why do I need to run? I didn't do anything. I I didn't do nothing. I did what I was supposed to do. I worked. I came home. I took care of my child. Um, you took care of my son. He was in college. Helped out my daughter, who was in another state at the time. I did what I was supposed to do. I loved on my man, just I did everything I was supposed to do. And um, like I said, and if I can get it, anybody can trust me. I'm like born. Like I've never even had a one night stand. I've never, um, definitely never had no threesome like that. I've never even been drunk. I've never went home with someone in the bar. I've never even had fucking dinner by myself. I've never taken myself out on a date. I've always been in a relationship since I was 14, and there's a lot of things that I just have not done. I've never done drugs. I don't even smoke cigarettes. My mother was a smoker. I hate the smell of cigarettes. I've never done hookah. I've never done a lot of shit. Like, I've never even been to Vegas. Who has not been to Vegas? Me. That's who. Okay? I have not been to Vegas. I just really have just been working. I'm just that next door type of, just whatever, next door, neighbor type of, just like, I'm just that chill chick. I like getting dressed up and cute. Or at least I used to. But I I've never partied. I had a child when I was a teenager, and I was adamant and quite fucking stubborn about staying in school, graduating. I got a scholarship, went to college, and of course, my mother passed away, got sick with cancer and passed away. So I ended up taking a break from college. I'm like, I'm just going to take a break for a semester. One semester turned into a year, and of course, what did I do? Got pregnant. Okay, so then didn't end up going back to college, but lost my scholarship. But yeah, like if this can happen to me, and I'm like that born kind of next door chick, just like she's just like, just like I'm just never had that. She's an out there type of chick, lifestyle. Like it can happen to anybody, and it does happen to people every single day. My heart goes out. Of course, I was just like, why me? Why me? Why me? But my heart really goes out to the ones that's teenagers. Some of them, their first sexual experience. I'm in my mid 40s, so I've lived a little, and they have to carry this with them, this heavy thing with them until, from their teens and 20s, they, some people are getting comments from their parents calling them dirty and don't sit on the toilet and clean the toilet after you wash, you use it. And it's like, you can't even get this shit from the toilet. Excuse you. And chances are you probably already got it anyway. So how about that? So, but nonetheless, parents are shaming their own kids. Friends are, you thought who you was your friend. They're pulling away from you because you're looked at like the girl with, she has it. They're telling people on the side. So I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to let the stigma, get to me. I'm not going to let people out to me and have that power over me and be like, shh, don't tell nobody. No, that's just not the type of person I am. So I won't let nobody ridicule me for this. Again, I didn't do nothing that nobody else has not done. I had sex and loved the wrong freaking guy. I trusted him. That's it. Somebody that, like I said, I found out he was living a double life. And during the course of our relationship, he messed with multiple chicks. I found out about one There was a couple of other ones, but it was just phone conversation. He was out there, so out there. Like I said, the niece. He was out there, and I okay, I promise I'm gonna stop this at 2. Like for real, for real. I already gotta break this shit down. I'm going but he was out there. He was out there and all of these girls was trash. You know, but it's not even the girl's fault because a guy, like, friend said, he was lying to us both. He lied to everybody. Now the one chick, she claimed she didn't know. She knew because she also told me she saw my shit at his house. And what did he tell her? He was waiting for me to get it. If you waiting for me to get my shit, why ain't it boxed up? Why ain't it in a garage? Why didn't you come and throw it on my fucking porch? Okay? In my front yard, just whatever. Drop it off at my job. Give it to the security officer. It was in the closet. It was on the dresser. Nail polish where it's supposed to be. Nightclubs where it's supposed to be. Body wash. Hair weave. Whatever. It was where I left it. Why? Because he would have known that if that nail polish was moved, them nightclothes was gone, I would have noticed that shit. Them bras, I would have noticed that shit. Just like she noticed, I noticed. I would have noticed. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Look at those pill bottles. Get those test results. Keep getting those test results. Don't believe, I'm clean. Don't see it with your own eyes. Have him send you the results. Because he'll tell you, I got tested, I'm clean. Don't. Please don't. Please don't. It's crazy. Girls are finding out that they said they didn't know. Then they talked to previous girlfriends and they know because they gave it to them. Or they found a pill bottle and, it's people are getting diagnosed all kind of crazy ways. Then the guys are blocking them after. The guys are denying it. The guys are using reverse whatever, telling everybody, oh, she has this, and trying to shame the chick, right, to make her shut up. And they're, some of these girls, they're backing down, but some of them was like, yeah, I got this shit and he gave it to me. Like, what the fuck? But it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what else I can say. Like, this is a long ass video. And I literally thought it was going to be 30 minutes. But I guess I should have known. Because once I started talking, I was not going to stop. It took me a long time to make this video. I kept thinking about it. I thought about it so many times over the last year, 2 years. But it took for a conversation today and for me to do it. And I'm just like, you know what? You don't tell a rape victim, which he has raped me before, but you don't tell a rape victim, you don't tell a cancer survivor, you don't tell not to share their story. You don't tell somebody who was molested. You don't tell somebody who, just whatever, not to tell their story. You don't tell them they're obsessed with telling their story. No. They're obsessed with being heard, with being validated. It's not that we want your sympathy. We just want to purge all of this, to get it off. because then somebody can hold power over me. I've been harassed by his family, by his friends. They've come on my Facebook saying, at least I don't have herpes. Bitch, I got herpes because your fucking brother gave me herpes. Let's tell a whole damn story, okay? There's no way you just telling one part of the story. You cannot shame me. You just can't. You just really, really can't. Goodness, I'm starting. I had on that light because it was kind of dark. But yeah, like, it's like, you can't shame me. Like, stop it, okay? Please stop it. Please, 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 please. Like, please. Please. But I'm gonna get off of here. I just want to tell all of you beautiful people that you're gonna be okay. It's gonna take some time, but you're gonna get through this. You're going to be you're the same person that you was before all this happened. Yeah, you're the same person. Herpes is not all of you. Everything that you were before. Vivacious, beautiful, charming, just life of the party. You just, whatever. However your friends describe you. However your coworkers describe you, whether you're knowledgeable, whether you're smart, whether you're witty, whether you're funny, you're still all of that. All of that. You're just a person that also has herpes. Just like if you had cancer, you're still all of that. You just now have cancer. If you had, just whatever else, you're still that person. You just now have this. It's a part of you. It's not all of you. It's not. But yeah, I people will still love you. You will still be in relationships. You will still love again. You can still have kids. People will still accept you. Yeah. Yeah. But first things first, you have to learn to accept yourself. Like I said, it took me a long time to do that. But I accept myself. It took me probably like a year. Probably like 9 months. Probably like 9 months before I could accept this. Yeah, it was like a year. And accepting it is just acknowledging this is something you have and you can't change it. I used to say, I'm never going to accept that. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I didn't do the shit that require you to get it. Of course, I'm thinking like a hot chick. You know what I'm saying? I ain't bouncing around from dick to dick. I'm just with one guy. I stay in long-term relationships. I'm the boring chick. Like, but the reality is I did do what it required to get it. I had sex, I had sex. And even if the person just had it in their mouth and you kissed them, guess what? You did what it takes to get it. You kissed them, yeah. So it's just, you have to shed that stigma that you're dirty. You have to shed it in order for you to accept yourself. You have to shed it. You have to, yeah. You have to acknowledge that you didn't do nothing wrong, that you didn't do nothing that nobody else is doing every single day. And that you're still the same person. You just have to acknowledge it. Acknowledging it does not, and accepting it does not mean you wanted it. Doesn't mean you agreed to have it. Doesn't mean you know, some people go to the extreme. They talk about, oh, I'll give a limb for to get away, a rid of it, or just whatever else. Now I was willing to give my life for it at the time I was diagnosed, but I'm not willing to give my life for it now. 3 years post. Um, but yeah, you're gonna be okay. This is the longest of this video you done seen. Boop, boop, boop. And this is probably gonna be, I don't know, like I said, there's definitely gonna be more videos. Let me turn this back on because it's like flickering because of my light. But there's definitely gonna be more videos, more things that's gonna be shared. It's gonna get kind of juicy. But yeah, I'm gonna purge. My damn therapist would be so happy with me. Because here I couldn't even tell a group of, I don't know, probably was like 9 or 10 people in a circle. I couldn't even tell them for a while. It was like, what are you here for? Are you just crying? What the hell are you crying for? but now I'm just like, I can't stop talking. I'm just like, my daughter was like, I'm tired of hearing about herpes. I'm like, herpes. But yeah, you're gonna be okay. Woo, 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 woo. You're gonna be okay. So let me go ahead and end this right about now. Hey. But like I said, I guess I'm gonna start my channel like this. Hey, we gonna do the damn thing. We gonna share all kind of shit. Okay. I'm gonna answer some questions. If you guys want to ask me questions, I'm going to, like I said, share other stuff that I don't share on my other page. Just about my life, things that I'm going through, things that I've been through. I'm just gonna share it. Share it. Sharing is caring, huh? Well, not in a bedroom. as far as somebody getting something out of their chest, and out of them so that it's not weighing on them, you gotta get it out. You gotta talk. And I've talked my damn friends' ears off. I've talked family members' ears off. I've talked therapists' ears off. Right now, I'm just talkative, I'm just talkative. So I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna share. But I'm gonna end this long ass video. And yeah, until we meet again, but here I am. As you can see, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I have to keep saying that. I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. I'm just whatever. But my story is my story. I will not be shamed. I will not be quiet. Although I know some people would like me to be quiet. My story, I can tell it. So I am. And yeah, until we talk again, look at my page, my Facebook, my Instagram. There's stuff on there. There's going to be other stuff on here. Yeah. I'm going to end this.